Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. We're just going to have a chat about the season so far and everything that encompasses it, because obviously Everton don't have a game for a few weeks. So we're just going to use this period to breathe and assess and reflect of what has gone on. We've got John Blame, you've got Dave Murray, and us two just sitting here at the other end like bookends.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you?
Surely one each side if it's bookends.
And well, yeah, but in an Everton world, the bookends would just be put together here, wouldn't it? The way we just don't organise anything.
Unorganised.
Yeah, disorganised.
See what you're doing.
We don't have books.
With the whole club.
Just have an empty shelf with cobwebs on it.
The shelf. Dave, we're sat here in March. It's been a quiet, calm season. Not much going on. Let's do the playing side first, because obviously Everton right now are in a relegation battle again. Year 3 on the run. This one feels a bit different because other things have made the situation a bit worse than what it is. But not winning a game for nearly 4 months is an issue in any season. But just overall, how have you found the season on the pitch?
Certainly up to Christmas. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thought we're segmenting it almost, so let's not talk about the pitch stuff just yet. But I thought we played not on the front foot, but certainly with an intensity, and we were in a lot of games. Yeah. Villa, obviously the outlier, and then Wolves was after that one. It was after Christmas, really. So, and I wanted us to be competitive. So at the start of the season, I said 11th to 14th, just to have a nice season of no stress. Still think that's attainable, but obviously we've gone 3 months without a win. So now we're in a position where the players just look shattered. I'm hoping this little break gives a boost, refresh, bit of downtime. There won't be much downtime, really, with the way he runs his ship. But I think he's contributed to that with lack of subs, the right back situation. I think they're the two for me that have really delayed that momentum that we got with them 4 wins just before Christmas. And now we're in. This is, what are we, 11? Could be 13 by the next time we play at home, which all of a sudden barely becomes a massive game. Which it is anyway when you've only won 3 home games all season, which is appalling. But he said, well, other managers have gone that. I know we have a bit of debate over it, but just the home form. And it's been shocking for a while, hasn't it? Yeah. I said to you when it first came in, feels like the club's got long COVID, but we could be saying that for 30 years.
Just on the other 2 outliers that you would sort of the other 2, should we call them flags, shall we call them?
Yeah, red flags.
The substitutions and the right back situation. We start with the right back situation. Who is probably the position that we've got most players in, it seems, doesn't it, right now? So who would you opt for?
Patterson.
Would you just go with?
And only because Seamus is getting to that, he can't play every game. He certainly can't play every week. So just put Patterson there. And a lot of teams play, me and Ped had a difference of opinion earlier about flying fullbacks. A lot of teams only play with 1 flying fullback and, play an inverted centre-back. Miko could be that inverted left-back, if you like, or certainly just stay this side of the halfway line where he's most comfortable and just let Patterson bomb on. And it gives you that overlap around the outside because Jack Harrison like him, but he runs in a straight line. And then he gets outnumbered because we just don't have enough overlaps or extra bodies around the pitch. We don't create them overloads. That's the word I was looking for. And I think that the right back one needs to fix because it just gives you that extra body, and he can cross it. He's certainly he's got a couple of assists. That one early in the season at Sheffield United for the Danjuma sticks out, but he's done that a couple of times and we've not got on the end of it. And he can't defend because you're not asked to defend in playing for Rangers, are you? Or Celtic.
Scotland.
So work with what you've got.
Yeah.
And we don't.
On that, John, with Patterson, do you think we might have seen he's not at the same level, but do you think we might have seen a Branthwaite situation with Patterson if the manager would have just gone, I'm playing you every week, and therefore grow into that position rather than he's used... Seems Patterson's only really got to go when the others have been injured, whether it be Ashley Young, whether it be Seamus Coleman. I'm not saying he's been great when he's played, but he's never felt like it's his position to lose. What do you think?
it's philosophical, I think, from the manager's perspective.
Right.
Right. I think the manager sees him as a kid who can't defend. And therefore the manager, in my view, I'm with you, right, is totally out of kilter with what goes on in modern football, in Premier League, where actually you look at whether they're called fullbacks or not, it doesn't matter, does it? But you look at your fullbacks and you say, in an ideal world, the great at attacking and the great at defending, but that doesn't happen very often, right? So if you have to make a decision, most managers favour footballers who are full-backs who can attack. You know, therefore, when you look at the attributes that they need, it's about athleticism, it's about pace, it's probably about a bit of height as well. So, you know, being taller full-backs rather than the old, shows this guy in the team as the full-back, sort of thing. So with that in mind, this manager gets it wrong straight away because he's looking at the defensive attribute of the player. And he presumably thinks, well, clearly Godfrey's a better defender than Patterson, so I'll play him. You know, it almost becomes I'll play anyone except Patterson. And he's wrong, I think. I think he's wrong. Your question is, would he have developed over the last 15, 20 games or whatever it is, if he was having to play in the team, which does defend, plays to a tight system as well? Yeah, of course he would. Of course he would. And a manager has to be measured on whether he makes the best of the resources he's got, and does he make some of those resources better. Now, if they claim that Mykolenko's improvement at the other end, which is a default defender who's learned to get forward a bit, yeah, and if the manager wants to take the claim for that, and I'm with you, by the way, the idea that you'd have two flying fullbacks is great if you have the luxury, right? But they don't, do they? Most teams don't have that. They have one who can get forward with pace, athleticism, whatever. Looking across our squad, two players who can do that. One's Seamus Coleman, as you say, is better, is behind him, if you will, right? And the other one's Patterson. Everyone else is a defensive fudge. That's all it is, in my view. And Maiko would look brilliant, I think. And he's already going to likely end up as player of the season because he's best of a bad bunch almost, right? Where he's a defensive-minded fullback who can tuck in as a centre-back. And then that gives the manager flexibility, whether it's 4 at the back, whether it's 3 at the back. That then gives you potential. You almost end up with a spare player, don't you? Say, ooh, who can I have as that player, right? And I just think managers missed a trick big style by not persevering. Coach the kid, tell him he's going to play. If I'm Patterson, I want away, because I'm thinking 38-year-old blokes in front of me, 34-year-old blokes in front of me, anyone who can defend is in front of me, right? Why am I here? My career's going wobble, wobble, wobble. What happens if he doesn't get, he will, of course, but what happens if he doesn't go to the Euros simply because he's not had game time? That's ridiculous. What happens if he goes to the Euros and looks great in a Scottish team?
Bayern wanted him, didn't he?
Yeah, they're not daft.
January.
They're not daft.
But again, when we talked about the home form, so the last time we either got to it this late in the season, in my mind, was 2012. Right, we played City, beat City 1-0, and Darren Gibson scored. That was our 4th home win. And then he bought Jelavic. I think he got Darren Gibson and Landon Donovan.
That was on January the 31st.
Yeah, and they
3 months.
that's what I mean. But what I'm saying is they got a boost. Yeah. And then we haven't got anyone in January because of what's going on. We haven't been able to get that boost. Yeah. So you need to change it somehow internally, because there's not a lot of coaching.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. And the other thing that Patterson has missed out on is spending all that game time on a field with Tarkowski to the left of him. Yeah. He's a good talker, he's a good coacher on field with players next to him. Yeah. And earlier on in the season, particularly a few games Patterson did get, he was non-stop talking to him, because you learn what you're doing wrong in the real life situation. Yeah. The manager and his coaching staff can say what they want, but once you're on the field, you need the old hand to come up and say, don't worry about that, behind you now, and so on.
I don't think Pat, bring you in, because
I was just before you do, I was just going to say that game, managers do that. He played it, if you remember, Hibbert played the centre.
Yeah, I remember.
And he had Duffy on the bench.
Yeah, yeah, he did. You know, there was other times he had played.
No, but I'm saying that managers will resort to a default to get them out of a situation, and usually it's experience, isn't it?
No, it is. But I mean, Pat, our whole form is that bad, and we have Patterson is an attacking mind. I know he's not amazing defensively, but then you've got 5 days a week or 4 days a week to help him with that. When you're training, that's the whole idea of training. But I mean, what would you do with Patterson, or do you understand why the manager doesn't play him?
I understand why he doesn't play him. He doesn't play him because for all the reasons you have just said, because he can't defend. He doesn't want anyone to go forward. He doesn't want. It's a mindset. He doesn't want fullbacks to go forward. That's just the mindset of the man, isn't it? He's got a centre back playing there for a reason, because he wants a fullback who's big, strong, fast, and can get about the pitch. But he doesn't really want anyone else to attack. It's just fact. I mean, I'd love Patterson to play. I've said loads of times, as much as everyone loves Mykolenko, I wouldn't have him anywhere near my Everton team if I had the choice of like Luca Dean or him. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have Mykolenko. For me, he's done brilliantly this season, but he's almost like the shining example of like where we've gone wrong as a football club. It's a player who just can defend in an age where you want your fullbacks to attack. And you're absolutely right. You do only have generally one. I think you'd have to have both sides in your squad, though. Yeah. Like you'd only have one, don't you? And the other.
He's a centre back.
And as I said,
for Ukraine, and
he's like Hibbert. He's like Hibbert. He's not an issue.
Yeah.
But he's a glaring example of where we are as a football club.
Yeah.
And
well, we had it, didn't we? We had it with Tony Hibbert.
Yeah.
And then Seamus Coleman come in, and everyone went, "Oh my God!" Because Seamus Coleman went the other way, and therefore. Yeah. We put teams on the back foot, and I think the manager hasn't. Carlo done it when he come in. Carlo had Seamus Coleman sitting in as the right centre back and Luca Dean pushing high. And then if Seamus went forward, Luca Dean had to sit in. And I remember when Klopp was talking about Ancelotti when he was at Napoli, because he had their number, didn't he? He had Klopp's number all the time.
Yeah. And
he said it was that they were doing. Liverpool couldn't get to grips with the fact that the fullback went and played as like a left winger, because it meant three, and they'd try and make it lopsided to catch them out. And
well, you see it, don't you? Use them as an example. You talk about coaching. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold cannot defend.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't spend 5 days. He is what he is, and we're getting a system to work around that. You know, when Newcastle, Dan Burn, with Trippier on the other side. You know, you come down, there's them examples.
So is there, with that in mind then, what about the three at the back then, where Patterson can be the right wing back, because he plays there for Scotland, and whereas obviously Mykolenko then could sit and be the third centre back with the left foot, and then you could have Branthwaite there and Tarkowski, and you've got the three.
The only worry with that is where I don't think Tarkowski is best suited as one of them outside roles. It's got to be the middle one, and then where do you put Branthwaite? So
Godfrey
probably. Well, Godfrey is probably your third centre back, isn't he?
So Mykolenko's either your left wing back or sub.
Yeah, but you've got to change it. Yeah,
because then you could have McNeil or you could have Harrison. You've got three then who can play on the left, up and down, and Harrison.
Young really, it's a push. Yeah. But he's an option and he's a body.
But Young's also a right-sided wing back, though, isn't he? So you've got what I'm saying is, if you had the three and it was Patterson and McNeil, say to start. You've got two changes on either side, haven't you? You've got Seamus Coleman, Ashley Young, or you've got Jack Harrison, Mykolenko to replace them. Then you could have two up front, genuinely.
Well, what I was going to say is probably centre-back
player.
Is probably the most place where we've got, let's use the word competent for now, right?
Yeah.
Options
players who could play
around the pitch, where and we haven't seen others, and it creates them options. If you go into a three at midfield, well, Garner or Idrissa can come in. You know, Decore can go out, and it keeps that freshness around the.
Or Decore can play in the three with them.
Yeah, and Beto's getting more of a run before people write him off after 200 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. But you've also then got an option of Chimiti. Then to go in alongside Dom or Dan Juma when he's fit. He wants to play through the middle. Well, you can only really play through the middle if you've got a big fella with him, because he doesn't. His back to goal play's no good.
So we're turning this into. Do we play 4 or 3 at the back?
No, I'm just saying.
Because we started off.
We've hit a brick. What I'm saying, John, is we've hit a brick wall. We've gone. It'll be almost 4 months since our last win. Next time we play a game. So this is a chance, I think, for 10 games for the manager to go. We've got a 10-game season now. Do we do something different, or do we keep just going 4-4?
I agree with the difference, but is it moving from a difference in trying to make the right back more expansive, or is it a difference changing the structure?
But it can be either.
Because with this stubborn manager, you know, it's almost like if he can't make a change and take out Godfrey and put in Patterson, he's not going to make a change to 3 either, is he?
Well, the funny thing is, the last win he did change it to a 3 at Burnley, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it went, and I thought Patterson was really good that day.
Yeah, he was excellent. They put that great. Dom should have had a goal from it.
Exactly.
But that is my point. Is the decision he needs to make is to put Patterson in the team, which becomes a 3. You know, in certain phases of the game. His defensive attributes are less important. Most teams don't play like City do or the RS do with multiple players up front. It's normally one and one off and all that sort of stuff, where 3 really competent centre-backs should be able to cope.
But I'd argue that, would you agree with this, that 2 of our best performances away from home this season have been with 3 at the back?
I think Burnley,
in the cup.
Burnley was one of the only places where we've actually played 3 for a very long time, where the wing-backs were aggressively high.
Yeah.
And that's normally it just ends up being a 5, doesn't it? With Everton
And that's the key.
Yeah. And against Burnley, we were really aggressive, and Patterson was getting really high up the pitch, and Harrison was going inside, and obviously Dwight McNeil was on the left, and it really worked that night because of the opposite. But it was because we were aggressive. We saw us play 5 under Lampard, and it always ended up being 5, didn't it? And that's maybe where he worries, is that if you play a 5 and you aren't brave, you ended up just sitting on the edge of your box and allowing the team to just get round the box. Because that's all happened with Lampard, wasn't it?
Well, I think that, and that's what I touched on when he first started, about that intensity's dropped since Christmas. So if you're going to play it's almost 3-5-2, isn't it, rather than 5-3-2.
Yeah, there has to be aggressive.
It has to be aggressive and intense.
But what's our biggest... I mean,
and it gives you changes, as you
Sean
said.
Dyche's managerial career is at something like 0.83 goals per game.
Yeah,
That's his record. He's got less goals than games managed, which just blows my mind, but that's where he is, right?
Yeah.
But this Everton team's the 3rd lowest scorer in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Now, OK, we can go on about underperforming XG. We should have 12.5. I keep saying it, I don't know where the half goal comes from, but we should have 12.5 more, more goals than we've got. But we're almost in April next time we play. So that, you can moan about that XG in August, September, and think it'll start to turn, and when it does, it's fine. So with what I'm saying is, we've only got 29 goals so far this season, and half of them, me and you were talking about, be more than half are from set plays. So if we did go to creating a bit more intensity higher up, and another striker maybe with you know, whether it be Danjuma, Dom, Beto, Chimiti, one of them 4, if you like, wouldn't that give us a better opportunity of scoring goals, which might win us games?
A lot of the times, whoever it is up top become isolated.
Yeah, totally.
And Dom's hold of play, very good. Beto a little bit more raw, but certainly a threat. Because he can put it about a bit, can't he? And actually, the football we've played has been better with him in the team, which is bizarre to me.
No, it is,
It's almost having 2 different style of plays for whoever your front man is, which is it's crazy. So,
and ironically, Dom could probably play the same way as they do when Beto's in the team, really. But anyway,
So that you've got to mix it up somehow.
Yeah.
But and the change for me is, it comes on that almost you're saying your right back's going to fix your season, aren't you?
But isn't he giving you an extra attacking option, though?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But what I'm saying is, your right back, whoever it is, or your full back, shouldn't define how you then go out and try and get points in this league, should it? For all that robustness and the energy is created, which is dipped from his own fault for not making the changes.
It's the nature of how you play, isn't it?
Exactly.
And that's almost like what we're saying about Patterson, is he changes the nature of how we play our game.
Yeah.
Instead of having a centre-back or a 38-year-old or 34-year-old, put Patterson, you know the nature of the team is going to be to go forward. It's whether it's whether he trusts the team enough to do it. And you're very much saying, well, we're going to play defensively from the start. But where's it truly got us? Being defensive this season hasn't got us anywhere.
His percentage, isn't it? So his percentage would be, you get so many points, you know.
Yeah, that's how he works.
You win and you draw half your games. That's what he wants, doesn't he? Yeah, which I understand the situation that we're in creates an area of complexity about it, about the style and everything, but, you know...
But it's just been negative, isn't it?
It has been negative.
It's just negative, isn't it?
You fall back on the defensive structure and all of a sudden mistakes are going to creep in, whether that's Pickford, whether that's Tarkowski, whether that's Godfrey, Mark and
then you've almost got to be perfect.
And Zuma, and you can't be.
Haven't you?
Know,
you've got to be perfect. Like Saturday at Old Trafford, they had to be perfect defensively. And like you just said, 2 defensive mistakes, the plan's undone. 2 penalties and we're 2-0 down. And it's like, we're actually doing okay here. We're getting beat
2-0. That's what I mean.
And then there's
like no route back.
And I said this on Saturday. for anyone who was watching the thing and thinking, oh, well, we done all right today. Yeah, we lost the game. But in isolation, I keep saying this, in isolation, that United game wasn't an issue. You just go...
Most games in isolation.
No, that's what I'm saying. You go, well, we've done all right.
But we lost
mistakes.
again.
West Ham.
Yeah.
We've played well worse than we have against West Ham. But we were winning 1-0 with less than 20 minutes to go. And we lose
that's what
the game.
I said there.
So in isolation, it's okay. But when it's in a run that's continuing and continuing and continuing, that's where I'm worried. I'm not, if we got beat 3-1 against West Ham, but we'd won 2 of the last 6, or 5, I'd just go, you'd be fuming, going, bad defender, and that, what a stupid defeat. But you accept it and you
There aren't many games this season that we've been truly beaten in.
No.
City away, never laid a glove on them. Wolves away. Villa away.
Yeah.
That's it.
Arsenal at home.
Arsenal at home. Terrible that.
We just tried to sit in our box.
That game. So 4 games.
Yeah. Every other
out of 28, every other game that we've lost or maybe drew has been Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Had the chances, should have won. XG is great. Conceded in the last minute at the park end.
That's what I said. So he deserves a lot of credit.
Because the Bladder scared the strikers to death. Yeah.
That's it, yeah. He deserves a lot of credit. Is for instilling that robust. I know it doesn't look like at the moment, and that competitiveness. But then the other end, like you say, it's a whole package.
But are you... and I'm not saying you're wrong, because he has created they are mentally a strong... Well, they are more robust, right? Yeah. But are we looking at that because they were fragile under Lampard and Benitez?
Ancelotti.
Or where did I got 59 points, Ancelotti?
We'll just go with the previous manager.
The Christmas.
No. And listen, no one moans more than me. We won 2. We went 4th in March when we beat West Brom 1-0. We were 4th that day, and then Liverpool played after us and went back above us. But we were 4th
briefly, yeah.
And we only had to win 3 games to qualify for Europe in 10. Yeah. And Ancelotti won 2 out of 10. So we dropped, and that was in though, tinkering. Remember we played Newcastle at home and he decided to change the centre-backs and we got beat 2-0. And they were crap. Callum Wilson, they were shit. They were rubbish, sorry, they were rubbish and we got beat 2-0 at home. Fulham at home. Yeah. Garbage, a team that were getting relegated and he beat it because he messed around with the team like he did. Yeah. So he did bug me, Carlo, in them ways that we were so close to doing something decent. And he undone it by just stupid decision making. Sheffield United at home, we were relegated. Absolutely embarrassing. Conceded after 3 minutes.
I honestly always find it hard to critique that season because I just no. I just think it
is a nonsense.
Go back and watch any of those games.
It was rubbish, wasn't it?
It was just pure training ground.
No, it was, but Dave's right though. Yeah. Even in that, we still shot.
No, it's really hard to critique that season because you forget not only with the games, but who knows what the environment was like at the training ground. I always find I look back at those games and I just think at the time we were in it, but you take a look back now and it's just like
Conor Cody was saying like things like, you know, you're on the same training, you're on the same dressing room with the lads or anything, you've got to stand far apart and all. It's just bizarre. And he said, you remember him saying to me, the managers would be saying, attack down the right, and he said, I could hear them, so we just all step across. It's like, there's no secret, he's not getting lost in the crowd, you know, and the games were crap. He even said himself.
Did they go home in the kit?
As a pro, yes he did. The intensity was lower. They did have to take the kit home, wash it themselves.
That's why Richarlison still got half of our gear.
You know what? I've just worked out why Jack Harrison's grip socks are great. Because he had to take them home when he was doing them on like a 60 degrees, you know, instead of like a whitewash. Sorry, he done them on a 40 instead of a 60. That's why his grip socks are great. So there is
whatever you just said, no idea.
No.
What's a 40
you
wash?
You don't know. You must do your washing.
I thought you meant grip socks.
And you don't know what grip socks are?
Don't you just put them on a thing and then when you come back it's washed?
The magic table. Have you got a magic table?
Isn't that...
Listen,
what's
like,
a 60 wash?
All right. Let's move on.
No idea. I haven't been domesticated.
Let's move on. Where we are, then we've got a 10-game season, like you just said. So, I mean, John, what do we, 10 games, sounds stupid question, but what do we need to do? But
work harder.
Is that for you?
Yeah. Go in the places where you get... Oh, sorry, that's what Sean was saying, wasn't it?
I'm asking you, come on.
Go in the places where you get hurt. I think he has to change the fullback. I think he has to make a statement that I'm going to play on the front foot.
Particularly at Goodison. Away, like I said, go and play at Bleeding. He's got 2 goalies, play 2 goalies.
2 Walter Smith, play 6 centre-backs, play Keane off.
Go and board them away.
Whatever.
Go and board them and grind out
because when people, right, comfortably say about how he's made us more robust, how the tighter in defence, we don't concede many. It's because we're a load of defensive-minded, don't cross the halfway line. We see it every season in an FA Cup. A non-league team rocks up to a Premier League team, very well organised, very structured, 5 at the back, 4 in midfield. Yeah,
or whatever they would call that. They were service station. Boreham Wood, Burton Wood the station. They could do it. They could come to Goodison. Boreham Wood, yeah.
And that all works up to a point. We were talking about boxing before. Tyson, they all had a plan to hit them in the face, right? They all have a plan until they lose a goal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because if they want to win the game, if a non-league club rocks up at Old Trafford, right?
You've just said a non-league club rocks up at Old Trafford, and I got stick for Burton Wood.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If they rock up at Old Trafford with a view of let's get out of here without losing too many goals, then they go one down eventually, and they go, oh well, it's only 1, and then it's 2, then it's 3, and they go, we'll settle for that.
Right, clapped off.
Yeah, and then they get clapped off. Well done, plucky non-league team. They've had their day out. They've all played. They've swapped shirts. They've swapped shirts and all that sort of stuff, right? But if a Premier League club plays like that, like we do, as soon as you go 1 down, do you think, well, let's just lose 2 or 3-0 then? Yeah, because as soon as you have to change to try and score a goal, to get an equaliser, to get a point, or to actually win the goddamn thing, that defensive robustness, which might have been achieved through numerical and working very, very hard, all gets stressed, doesn't it? And it's why we find ourselves frequently in that situation that once we're expected to be a bit more expansive, of course the defensive tightness goes. Because you go in that way, players aren't doing recovery runs, they're not getting back quickly enough. They've probably forgotten what happens if you're all piling forward, We did it at Old Trafford at the weekend. We started with a high press, didn't we? We had them wetting themselves, but then got caught defensively, on the counter, bang, 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 bang. Who thought going to Old Trafford was a good idea to go at them, right? In a pressing sense, but even when we got the ball, we didn't know what to do with it, really.
If we were a better offensive team, though, we'd have been 2 up by the time they got out of their own half.
And that's the defence that the manager can have, which is when the chances come, if we take them, it's all different. Well, increase the frequency of chances, increase the quality of chances, because you give DCL 2 or 3 decent chances in a game and he will score at least 1 goal, perhaps more, right? But we never do that. Was it you talking about, your XG was 1.8, but they were all like 0.1 each, sort of thing.
That to me is stats for stats.
Of course it is, right? So you asked the question, what to do? Change the mindset.
Okay. Dave,
change the mindset.
Same to you, 10 games.
The manager changes his mindset because that then transfers to the players he pick and the way he chooses to play.
10 games, what do we do?
Got to win 5.
5, is that what you're saying, yeah?
I don't think 5's...
Got 5 home games, haven't we?
That's different.
I mean, if we win a derby, then fair play to
Rephrase, win all our home games.
And win all our home games, and be all right. Yeah.
But 4 home wins and an away win at Luton or Bournemouth or something would be great, wouldn't it?
Beat the right teams and you get away with 3 or 4 wins, can't you?
Yeah.
Ted, we've had manager change your mindset.
Yeah.
I like Dave's suggestion, which is just win games. I love that. What? 10 games.
Can't lose to Luton. We just can't lose to Luton. Doesn't matter what happens. And we have to win the 4 home games against the opposition we're supposed to beat.
Which is Forest, Sheffield United.
And the way we do that is be a little bit more offensive. And that doesn't mean changing things from the start. That means if changes need changing in the game, you've got to go after teams. Not taking Beto off and not bringing Dom on or the other way around.
But would you change the formation at home? I don't mind away. I think.
I don't know. I think there's a choice to be made whether you can go to a 3. But he's so stuck in his ways.
Well, what about Patterson then coming in and going having an attacking fullback at home?
Well, no, again, no, you're asking, that's us saying that, and it's very easy for us to go, the manager he'll have a lot of, there'll be nuances, won't there, to what makes it work.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether bringing Patterson in is the solution to everything. There has to be a general, because I think midfield's just about, James Garner's a waste of space for me, because he literally plays in the same position as Onana. You look at the the heat map and the positional, they play in the same
Bumping into each other all the
both playing
time.
in the same position. You have to have someone in midfield who can drive forward with the ball. Do we have that player? Well, probably not. Well, then
Patricia does that a bit better,
could McNeil play behind the striker?
There, yeah.
There's all little things that maybe you could change during the game. Not necessarily like one big thing that you're gonna. But why have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C?
Do we have to do something different for those home games?
We have to be more positive and not just say, well, we'll see what happens till either one of us scores.
For an hour.
That can't happen
and
anymore.
When McNeil's come inside, he should have had an assist for Beto, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
And that's it. That's not his fault. But that was a nice position he found himself in.
He could actually play there though, because
he took up some nice positions.
I mean, he hit the post.
He'll also get more shots in as well.
The one against Chelsea, where he cut inside. I don't know who the fullback was, whoever was chasing back. He cut inside, put it through to Dom, and then Decore scored. Gets in them nice positions.
Yeah, maybe that's a shout.
But what is that? Fullback who goes.
Do you know what? Remaining games, what's either scary or good, is that the majority of our games are against teams in the bottom half, which is where we got most of our points from, for obvious reasons. Yeah, and they are predominantly against teams in and around us as well. So they all have greater value. You beat Brentford, you beat Luton, or not lose as Ped says, you beat Forest at home, Sheffield at home. Where's the problem?
Well,
And maybe there's a segue there into talking about the off-field stuff, because where's the problem is potential for a future points deduction.
Well, pause. Right, let us know what you think. What do Everton have to do in these final 10 games? What can the manager do and the management team, not just Sean Dyche? What can Wone and Stone help them out with? What should they be looking at? Is it Patterson? Is it Seamus Coleman for home games and just try to bomb on a little bit? Or is it two strikers? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. See you later.